urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And it has become a very apparent to me over the course of watching Phil that he has no real idea what context actually means. In his mind, it means whatever he says it means. And it's sad because didn't he go to private school? Wasn't he the valedictorian? Linda, you should probably get your money back. So let's get into it.
Someone took the bucks. I thought you said you were going to stop playing any games that were rage games. What happened? I never said that.
Actually, that's exactly what you said in no uncertain terms. Now, you went about it the way you go about things by adding a bunch of additional fluff like you're going to do now. But for most people, something as simple as this requires a short, concise answer. We all know that the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line.
Here's what I said. Because people always, literally 100% take what I say and take it completely out of context and twist it to mean something that it doesn't.
So once again, Phil believes that in order for you to have the entirety of what he believes context means is you have to hear every single word that he said about the subject. Otherwise, you can't grasp what he's saying at all, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, here's what I said. Let's reiterate what I said so people can understand the entire line of reasoning, okay? What I've noticed recently is that the playthroughs that are doing well regularly, including things such as American Truck Simulator, Pokemon Legends ZA, even just late night chill streams where we hang out. Those streams are relaxing. Those streams, there's a lot of interaction with the chat. And with those streams where I can relax and interact with you guys a lot, people have been appreciating it a lot and supporting them in droves, and the streams are doing incredibly well.
So what you're doing now is going against your own narrative that all your streams are chill fun. Because what you're doing now is creating a delineation between quote unquote games that stress you out, which is according to you is what you said, and quote unquote games that are chill fun, right? So now we have a partition between those games and the so-called chill fun games, Phil. When the original narrative was everything was chill fun. What happened?
I have right now a playthrough of Pokemon Legends ZA where we have hit the goal for support every stream. And we are 40 hours in. That's crazy. It's crazy to get a playthrough that long where you're going to actually be hitting those goals like that. And it's just a game where you kind of relax and talk about Pokemon the whole time.
No, it's actually a shame that people have to pay you that much money for you to actually finish a game, Phil. You're talking about playing Pokemon for 40 hours. How much money is that? Seriously. And then on the flip side, you have games where like Ninja Gaiden or whatever, where 1 or 2 streams and then you drop it, but you still made a couple $100 and they can never see the end of it because you have to feed your insatiable need to gamble. And it's sad.
Right? There used to be a time in the past where games such as FromSoft games or competitive online fighting games or the Call of Duty shooters, those were the games that I would play online or would play against the computer in the case of like FromSoft, but they were so difficult, so challenging, they would cause me to rage. That rage, that reaction would allow people to get interested and invested in the playthrough. Will Phil persevere or will he fail and burn, crash out hard?
Phil, you rage at every game. This is why it's hilarious to me that you kind of create a distinction between the games that you play. It doesn't matter how simple the game is or how upfront the game is or even how difficult it is. You'll still rage all the same.
That was part of the appeal. And I would get tons of views on those. And I would get tons of people coming by to enjoy the content. However, over the years, things have changed. Notably, what has happened is that people now live restream and or copy paste my content illegally. And those views, those rage views, go to other people.
Phil has been that way for a long time. All right. Even when you played Elden Ring or any other game that you can think of that you would call difficult, or even games that you would play that are not difficult, the overwhelming majority of your views are going to other people because people don't want to watch you. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Right now, I don't really get much new viewership at all. Almost none. If I do, it's because one random person will mention me and all of a sudden someone will come over and check out the channel.
Imagine being in business for almost 20 years and not getting any new customers. Now, you would think at the 20-year mark, or even before the 20-year mark, you are a master in that particular field, whether it be a restaurant, whether you're selling good or providing a service, whatever you're doing at that much time in, at that point, you should be pretty good at what you're doing. But to come on here and say after 20 years that you're not getting any new customers is crazy.
But for most people who go online, they type in DSP gaming, darksydephil, it goes to a detractor channel. So they get those views, those rage bait views for the angry games. They get them now, not me.
Phil, that's not true at all. And I touched on this already. When people type in DSP gaming, yours is the first thing that comes up, Phil. And that's a fact. You can check that right now after you watch this video. But yes, you're right when you say people type in DSP or darksydephil. Sure, that part of your algorithm is controlled by detractors, but people can still find you if they want to. They just don't want to.
I don't benefit from them at all. In fact, if you take a look at some of the games this year that caused me the most rage, for example, Mario Kart World, it did not do that well.
Imagine, just think about this. He led into this saying that think about some of the games that caused me the most rage. And the first game out of his mouth was Mario Kart World. What is going on in your life that you're raging at freaking Mario Kart, man? You know that game was designed for children, right? It's supposed to be that way, Phil, so everybody has a chance to win. No, it's not a skill-based game. There is some skill in it for sure. You know, there's things that you can do to influence the outcome. But for the most part, it's a party game, Phil. My goodness.
Initially, the first stream or two did. Then immediately, people stopped coming to streams. The people that came to the streams didn't support the streams. And come to find out, the reason that people wanted me to keep playing it is because it was a very clippable game. See Phil crash out and rage at the game, and then the detractors get a bunch of clips that they get views on and make money. That's it. That was the...
Phil, even if you're not playing a game, you're going to say or do something stupid that's going to be clippable. You're a living meme. Doesn't matter what you do. So you can try to blame it on the game in this case, just like you blame it on the game when you don't make enough money. But at the end of the day, it's about you and your behavior. It's always been that.
The only reason. My true fans weren't that into it. Okay? So what I've noticed is, hey, instead of just focusing on the games I used to play all the time and going crazy, why not listen and observe and see what it is that my true fans want? My true fans want relaxation, interaction, that kind of level of talking back and forth, getting their questions answered, getting a little bit of attention.
Yes, all the ingredients to start parasocial relationships. And just think about what he just said. He said, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to worry about what my actual fans want. So you telling me you've been on this thing, doing this thing for almost 18 years, and you just now starting to consider what your actual fans really want, Phil? I mean, just think about the stuff that you're saying. You would be so much better served if you would just stop talking.
Learning a little bit more about me. You don't get to do that when I'm sitting here raging and playing an insanely difficult game. Now, at the very same time that I acknowledge this, all right, I don't want to become someone who just sits here and talks to you all night, every night. There are streamers just like that. They literally have nothing to do. They don't have any expertise in any field. They're not entertaining at all. They just want to talk. And people like that. And that's fine. I get that. There's people out there, that's their forte or whatever.
Now, you see, when he initially started talking about the other streamers that just talk, he was shitting on them. But then he caught himself and realized, man, I kind of sound like a hater. And he tried to pull it back a little bit by saying that it's fine. How do you know what their expertise are? How do you know that? What a crazy statement to make. And who are you talking about in particular? Because we know oftentimes when Phil is speaking, he's not just speaking in generalities. He's speaking about somebody in particular.
I don't just want to be someone who talks to you all night or lectures you on a topic or whatever, all right? I know that gaming is how I got started. I know that gaming is going to be prominent for me forever. There will always be people who want to see me play certain games, okay? But at the same time, I'm no longer beholden to gaming.
You very much are beholden to gaming, and you will be for the duration, Phil. Do not kid yourself into thinking that you can stop playing games, you can just run your mouth for a living. It's not going to work. There's already far too much of you. You stream way too much, and you don't provide anything for the time that you're here. And now you're saying that you're going to drop the one thing that could be semi-entertaining about your streams, and you're just going to run your mouth. You don't know enough to talk as much as you do. This is why you always talk yourself into circles and you end up telling on yourself. Stop talking, bro. You don't have anything noteworthy to say anyway.
Used to be. Like, no exaggeration, it used to be like, man, it's a slow time of the year for games. Now my views are down, my revenue's down, everything is down, and this sucks. I'm beholden to games. But I'm not anymore. I'm not. Now, we can do whatever we want. We could play a game. If it's not that good, if it's not resonating with you or me, we can drop it and do something different. We could just do a chill night. We could just hang out. I've had nights where for 2 hours, I sat here just talking with you, and it was more successful for me than a night when I tried to force myself to play a random game on a night stream.
Now, do you hear what he just said? When he forces himself to play games. Now we know this is something Phil has been doing for a very long time. This is why he's always on the edge of being tilted the second something doesn't go his way, because he doesn't want to do it anyway. But it's funny hearing him speak because, like I said before, the devil speaks for the forked tongue. And if you allow him to speak, eventually he'll tell on himself. Just be patient.
You know, stream 3, stream 4 of a game, no one likes it anymore. This just happened with Ninja Gaiden 4 recently. The game's all right, but after the third, fourth stream, you've basically seen the extent of what the whole game is going to be. Do you want to see me grind another 10 hours through this game that's exactly the same for the rest of the game? No.
Phil, that's the overwhelming majority of games. You know, you play it for 10 or 15 hours, for the most part, you got the gist of what the game is going to offer. Now, there are going to be some modifiers in terms of skills acting slightly differently, but generally speaking, you understand the gameplay loop. I mean, what game are you playing that after 15 or 20 hours, the gameplay loop changes entirely? I can't think of one, but y'all let me know.
So we played 5, 7, 8, 10 hours of it, say goodbye, and do something different that people want. So that's what I said. I said, no longer am I going to force myself to play games that aren't working for the audience or that are overly stressful for me if there's a reason. Like, for example, right now, if they dropped Bloodborne 2, are you shitting me? Everyone would want to see me play it. Everyone would want to see me get through it. I would play it.
No, everybody would want to see you fail at it. Everyone would want to see you cry about it. That's it. Nobody wants to see you persevere or come through on the other end triumphant. Nobody's there for that. People are there to see you rage, Phil. It's always been like that.
But if it's the 19th Bloodborne ripoff game that's trying to be Bloodborne and it's not made by FromSoft, I'm probably not going to play it. I don't care. Like right now, I'm even on the fence. Should I even play Nioh 3? No one actually really cared about Nioh 2. I'm serious. Like, I played through the whole thing. People were bored within a few streams and complaining to me that I was playing it. You want to know why? You ready for this? Because I was doing good at it. I actually learned the systems because that game had a unique way where you could charge up one thing, activate it, build up the next thing, activate it, and win. I wasn't sucking that much at it, so my detractors couldn't clip it well, and it wasn't making the money, and they were frustrated that I was playing it.
Okay, this statement makes no sense because you said that the people were upset and they were bored. What people? See, this is why I said before, he doesn't understand who's friend and who's foe. And the lines start to get blurred when you're perpetually on the internet, or like Phil likes to say, terminally online, because you can't gauge facial expressions. You can't gauge enunciations. You can't gauge how somebody is saying something, right? Now, what did he say? No, I too. I don't really know how to say the name of the game, but I played it and I very much enjoyed it. And when you go on the internet right now and look up the views for that video, it did just as good as any other game that he played, as well as the detractors clipping it. So I'm not sure what he's talking about.
My fans didn't really like it. I thought it was just okay. It didn't work for anyone.
So now he's shifted. Now, first he said it was his detractors that didn't like it. Now he's saying it's his fans who didn't like it. See, this is what happens when you're beholden to the almighty dollar and you think the dollar is everything. It starts to own you. And the second you do not have it, you think something is wrong. And Phil is morally bankrupt. You know, he attributes his success to how much money he makes. And it reminds me a lot of like a OnlyFans model or a drug dealer or whatever. You know, they know they're doing something morally wrong, but to save face, they'll tell you, well, at least I'm making money. Well, sure. But all that means is that morally you can be purchased, which means you can't be trusted.
So I am not going to kill myself playing boring games or overly difficult games any longer. We're going to find things that work for everyone, that people enjoy for whatever reason, and we're going to keep them in the rotation, and those stick, and other things will be dropped, and we'll try other things in place.
Imagine describing playing video games as killing yourself. My goodness, Phil, you really got to live a little bit more, man. When the last time you actually broke a sweat? When the last time you actually had some pain in your body? Seriously, man, you talking about video games killing you? It's people right now who have a 30 to 45-minute commute. They have to go to a place wearing a uniform that they probably don't want to wear, deal with people that they kind of like or don't like, stay there for 8 to 10 hours. And then after doing all of that, they then have to drive home 30 to 45 minutes. So even though they only worked 8 or 10 hours, it's really a 12-hour day in a lot of cases. But here you are in your spare bedroom playing video games, and it's quote unquote killing you. This is why people don't take you seriously, man, because you have the temperament of a child. Because only a child will look at something as a video game as serious as you do. It's ridiculous.
That's what I said. I didn't say no difficult games. Very well, difficult games could work. Take a look at Hollow Knight Silksong. That was one of the hardest games I've ever played. By far the toughest Metroidvania I've ever experienced. And it was an amazing playthrough that people showed up, engaged, and supported with. Why would I have dropped it? Because it was tough. But again, I explain this in context with full explanation so you understand what I'm saying. This will be clipped down to one moment where I say, oh, I'm not playing tough games anymore. And that's what my detractors put out. And you hear that and you believe it.
So this is what I would like you to do for me, Phil. Name the detractor that is putting out small clips where you only say one sentence. Name them. Because on one hand, you'll say that they're ripping your content raw. They're not editing it at all, right? And then on the other hand, you'll talk about how they're taking things out of context and making you look bad. Those things do not go together, Phil. You got to pick one.
Hence why people on the internet have such misconceptions about me. That's why. So people will say, but I don't edit. I took that clip straight from Phil's stream. No, you took one out of context sentence out of an entire stream that gives it context. That's not in context. And it doesn't make any fucking sense because you took it out of context. You understand?
It doesn't matter if you keep saying taken out of context, Phil. It doesn't really make sense what you're saying, dude. And I think part of him knows that this is why he's repeating himself, because it doesn't make sense at all. Nobody is only taking one sentence from your content and try to create a story out of it. People are uploading 10, 15, 20, and in some cases, 30-minute clips of you just running your mouth. I don't know how more in context they have to be. My goodness.
Understand? Doesn't matter if it's a raw thing I said or not. No, the things that people clip are not me saying 5 words from different sentences taped together. They're actual sentences I've said, but they're not in context. Therefore, they don't make any sense. This person literally saying that misunderstood what I said because they didn't hear the whole thing that I said, only a very small part of it.
No, he really just think that he says something there, and you can tell by his body language that he feels like he really just laid the hammer down, because in his mind, everybody's retarded. We don't know what's going on. We're too stupid. And the reason we don't get it is because we are hard of hearing, apparently. And he has to explain it to us for a 700th time. No, Phil, it doesn't matter how many times you explain your version of events. It doesn't make sense. They are very much putting out what you're saying in context. And if you look at other people who have detractors, your detractors are probably the most fair because they do put you up completely unedited. So what are you talking about?
Clyde says people like simple, clear answers. If you have to spend 10 minutes to explain something simple, it puts off a lot of people. Yes, because a lot of people are stupid, lazy, and unintelligent. They want a quick TikTok-like short or snippet instead of an actual intelligent discussion. I can't help stupid people. They're going to be stupid. So I don't care about stupid people. Do you understand? If you don't actually want to hear someone's rationale because you're that dumb, then you're not important to me. You don't.
So if you don't care about stupid people, quote unquote, then why are you explaining this? Who are you explaining this to? Would it be those same stupid people, quote unquote, that you claim you don't care about? And that comment is true. You know, for many of you who have children, or maybe you have a sibling or something that's younger than you and they do something that they're not supposed to do, and you say, hey, What are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then the first thing they tell you is, well, you know, they start giving you a bunch of information that is not pertaining to the particular situation. Naturally, you're going to feel like they're being deceptive, because why are you not just getting to the point? And that's what they're getting at. What you're breaking down right here is not some undiscovered science that people need a full breakdown on. You're talking about playing video games, man. That's it. It's not that deep.
Exists to me. You're just another one of these fucking no-load humans that doesn't serve a purpose. Sorry if you're that dumb and you need something explained to you in 5 seconds, or you have ADD and you start looking somewhere else because you're that fucking immature. I don't care.
You see how he had to go to an extreme? Nobody was saying that it had to be a YouTube short or a TikTok video. People were saying that you should just be concise, because what you're talking about does not have that much weight. It's very surface level stuff, but you present it as, and you explain it as if it's deeper than what it actually is. And this is why people a lot of times look at you like you a damn joke, because you are. Because something as basic as that, look how far off the beaten path you go with it. And then you want to say, well, I don't care about you and you don't matter to me and you're just too stupid. Phil, I would argue that it's you who is stupid, because why does it take you 10 or 15 minutes to explain something that's very basic? Now, I know that you're the king of projection and you love projecting your life onto other people. But the truth is, everything you said right here could have been shored up in 5 minutes. And that was his point. It's ridiculous. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.